everyone, my name is Vina, aka Miss WOC Reader, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another day of Kwanzaathon. Today is Kumba, which is creativity, and our prompt for today is a homage to Black creators. So I wanted to celebrate some underrated authors today. So the first one that I'm going to start with is Tina Wells and Honest June. So Honest June is a new contemporary fantasy middle grade releasing on the 28th. Now I know it's after Christmas, not a lot of people are concentrating on buying books, and the ones that they are concentrating are more like those ones they wanted to buy all year. But please don't forget the authors who are releasing at the end of the year. They deserve your support as well. So I'm just going to read you a little bit about Honest June. I was gifted this by Random House, and I don't unfortunately have time to read it before the end of December, but I definitely plan on reading it for January. June has always been a people pleaser, telling harmless little lies to make friends and family happy. She's convinced being honest about her feelings will only hurt the people she loves. Until, out of nowhere, a secret fairy godmother appears to bless her with the ability to only tell the truth. Seriously? Now she has no choice but to be honest. And the truth is this: June feels stressed out. Middle school is no joke. Between field hockey, friend drama, and her parents' high expectations, she feels so overwhelmed that sometimes it's hard to breathe. When everything spirals out of control, will June find freedom in telling the whole truth and nothing but? Or is she destined to battle the curse for the rest of her life? So this is Honest June. It is the first in a series. The next book is Honest June, The Show Must Go On, and that releases in 2022. So the next book that I have is one that I've shoved down people's throats multiple times this year, and I will continue to shove it down your throat until you finally pick it up and read it, because this one came up from an indie publisher and it needs more support because it's exactly what y'all are looking for. And that is Magic Dark Magic Divine by A.J. Locke. And I really enjoyed this one because it is a fantasy that is a contemporary urban fantasy with a heavy romance. So you love romantic fantasy, this right here is perfect for you. Like I said, it is contemporary. It's set in New York City, and there's no racism involved, even though it has a black cast. So there is a black love interest. We love to see that. And it follows Pen Ray, who is a warrior who was asleep for hundreds of years. She wakes up to this new world that is magicless, though they still remember that magic does exist. And she has to adapt to this new world. While she's adapting to this new world, she starts to realize maybe magic is not exactly gone. And if you want to know more about this, I did a whole review on it. So definitely check that out on this channel. And pick up Magic Dark Magic Divine if you are looking for an urban fantasy romance. The next one that I have is another one that I constantly shove down people's throats. I will continue to shove down people's throats because it's been over a year since it's been released and it still doesn't have an audiobook, and not enough of you have read it yet. And that is Daughters of Jubilation by Carolee Cawthon, another one that I absolutely adore. This is a historical fantasy. It takes place in the 1960s. It follows a young girl named Eveline who discovers that her family possesses this power called Jubilation, and while she's training in these new powers of Jubilation, an old threat comes to attack her, and she has to work with her grandmother in order to get rid of this threat. In the meantime, she is young and discovering herself. She is discovering first love. She is kind of having these disagreements with her mother. She's trying to protect her little sisters. It's a beautiful story about family, a beautiful story about love, and a beautiful story about finding light in those moments of darkness. Definitely check out Daughters of Jubilation. The next one that I have is a contemporary story, which I really enjoyed. I thought it was super cute, and not enough of y'all are talking about that either. And this is Simone Breaks All the Rules by Debbie Rigo. So Debbie is a longtime YA author who doesn't get enough props. Like, she's been here before all your faves, and she's been writing black romance for a long time. This book is no exception. This follows a young girl named Simone, who is Haitian American. She has very strict parents that she's trying to kind of break free from. So she wants to just be able to do things that other teenagers do, like go to parties and pick her own prom date. But her parents are still stuck between the old ways that they grew up in, and they don't exactly want to let her explore these new ways. So it's all about finding that balance in between as the child of immigrants. It's all about discovering yourself and being able to use your voice. I really appreciated this story. The next one that I have is another one that needed to get a lot more love than it got this year, and that is Where the Rhythm Takes You by Sarah Das. Beautiful, summery, YA contemporary romance. It is second chance romance. It follows a girl whose name is Reina. She is still getting over her mother's death, and her ex-boyfriend comes back to the island. She lives on the beautiful island of Tobago and runs her family's resort. And like I said, she's having a hard time getting over her mother's death. She doesn't want to change the resort. She wants everything to remain exactly the way it was when her mother was alive. She doesn't want to go to school, even though all her friends are going to school, and she's not quite sure where she's going to be in life beyond running the resort. When her ex-boyfriend comes back to the island, he is now this big superstar thanks to his songs blowing up in America. And she has to realize that it's okay to move on and change things and do things differently. And it's okay to be sad, but you also need to be able to move forward in life. Definitely a great one that was very looked over this year. I adore it. Definitely check it out. And then the next one that I have is another book that I push all the time. It was one of my best reads of this year, and that is Artie and the Wolf Moon by Olivia Stevens. This is a graphic novel that really fills that space that is missing with the 12 to 14 crowd in publishing. They just don't get enough love, and I really feel like this was a story for them. So Artie and the Wolf Moon follows this girl named Artie who discovers she's a descendant of werewolves, and while she's learning to control her new powers, she is also helping her mother reconnect with her old community, and she has to fight off these vampires that are threatening them. It was a really cool take on the vampire versus werewolf lore, and it is a graphic novel, so amazing illustrations. Really beautiful. I definitely enjoyed this one. I thought it was fun, but still managed to be highly effective. I liked that she was kind of an outsider among her town because she didn't fit in with like the white kids at her school, but the focus of the story was not racism like so many stories focus on. It was really more about finding herself and finding her community. Artie and the Wolf Moon, definitely check it out because graphic novels are just so great. They have a way of being able to tell stories that wouldn't be able to be told otherwise. And then the last book that I have is another graphic novel that tells a story in a way that it wouldn't have been able to be told otherwise, and that is Wake, the Hidden History of Women-Led Slave Revolts by Rebecca Hall. So this was another one that I really enjoyed this year, and like I said, it's a graphic novel. This one is in black and white. At least this arc is. I'm pretty sure that the novel is in black, the final copy is in black and white too though. But the highly detailed illustrations. It depicts a history that we really don't know much about. We follow Rebecca Hall's journey as she tries to uncover this history. It is very difficult to go through these old slave passages and pull information, and there's not a lot of information written down to begin with, so she kind of has to read things and put together her own conclusions. This is not a book that I would have read if it was just in regular prose, so I highly appreciate the format that it's in. And I look forward to more non-fiction graphic novels, because these I really think are a game changer. So those are just a few underrated Black creators that you want to check out. If there are any Black creators that you think I should check out, leave those in the comments section down below. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button. Continue to watch us during Kwanzaathon as we continue to celebrate Blackness. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!